moisturize me!
Hello, rubbish robots from the dawn of time. We are back with the Hachette Partworks Dalek Collection build. It's currently 1 AM. I'm very tired. Last week, we started work on the Dalek beyond the dome. We started working on this little resting place, a little seat lounge area for the Dalek mutant with backrest. And today I think we're adding to that section. So we're gonna really pimp out this Daleks area. So let's clear some space and let's do issue 19.
What did he just say?
No, issue 18. Okay, so we got our box of bits and a very crumpled issue 18. Whoopsie, my bad. So let's move this aside for now and we'll decrumple issue 18. Oh, this magazine is going to be a bit of me. The Parting of the Ways. Now, I've been on record as saying that hands down, The Parting of the Ways is my favourite episode of Doctor Who. And I know that is quite a lot down to nostalgia. It was the first finale of Doctor Who I ever watched. It was the first Doctor Who DVD I ever got. I watched it on repeat. I could probably recite the entire thing right now. I won't. But it's funny watching it now in reference to the new Russell T Davies era. And I've not been the biggest fan of the kind of hand-wavy rug pull solutions to his finales that he's had for the past couple of seasons. So it's maybe a bit ironic to cite The Parting of the Ways as my favourite episode, given that it's probably the mother of all Deus Ex Machinas in Doctor Who. But I just love it. I love the tone of the episode. I think the Dalek Emperor is one of, if not the best villains that have ever been in Doctor Who, or have ever been in anything ever. It's sad, it's exciting, it's scary. It's the whole package of an episode. The Parting of the Ways. The Doctor, Rose, and Jack find themselves contestants in deadly TV game shows. Now this is very unnecessary information, but I, and I'm sure lots of other Doctor Who fans who enjoy writing and want to pursue writing as a career, spend a lot of my time thinking about a structure for a Doctor Who era. Should the BBC call me up, obviously, inevitably, tomorrow and say, we want you to be showrunner of Doctor Who, what do you want to do with it? And a little insider spoiler for when that happens. My first series as showrunner, the first episode would be set 16 years after the Parting of the Ways. On that era of Earth, the devastation of the game station, the Dalek invasion. I didn't mean for that all to rhyme, but I guess we're spitting bars today. And the companion of my first series would be part of the cleanup crew after the game station has crashed to Earth. And they find a mysterious blue box. And I know what you're thinking. Why is the TARDIS in the crash of the game station? The TARDIS wasn't on the game station by that point. That's what you think, mate. I've got it all figured out, don't worry about it. In fact, put that in the comments. If you've ever thought about where you'd want to take Doctor Who, what's the first episode you would write? What would be the story? I'm not going to steal your ideas, I promise. I might. Trapped on the Dalek mothership, Rose Tyler watches as the Daleks prepare for combat. One of them turns to her and say, this is just describing the entire episode, I think. Oh, just a whole multi-page spread about the Parting of the Ways. Absolutely love it. Rose absorbing the TARDIS there in the time vortex. Could that come back to be referenced at some point with a certain regenerated Time Lord in the future? Who's to know? Who's to know? Oh, I love the miniature of the Dalek Emperor and Mike Tucker, bottom left, whose team built the Dalek Emperor. I think Mike Tucker has also written some stuff for Big Finish. I might be totally wrong on that. In fact, here's another insider bit of information. I've had the idea for quite a while now to do like a documentary on my channel. Because I want to get into more filmmaking, and I've not really done a lot of documentary stuff before. I did some in college, but it was very amateurish. I have a bit more equipment and stuff and a little bit more skills, just a few. I thought it'd be really cool to do a documentary, and I wanted to do a documentary on the Dalek Emperor miniature that they built. And basically, where is it? The idea sort of came when I went to see the touring Doctor Who exhibition that's, I think, still going in various parts of the world, called Doctor Who Worlds of Wonder. And they had obviously various props and costumes and little miniatures from different eras of the show. And I remember seeing Mike Tucker's name on quite a lot of them. And I was like, I wonder if he just has a collection somewhere of all these miniatures. And I knew the name from watching Doctor Who Confidential back in the day. But I also remember they did a Doctor Who exhibition tour many, many years ago. And I remember seeing the Dalek Emperor miniature. For some reason it was through a little hole in the wall. It was like, don't look in here. And then you looked in it and just the Dalek Emperor was sat there. And I was like, hello. It felt like a peep show. It was weird. But this is where the idea for the documentary came from. Just exploring, where is the Emperor? I know the Doctor Who social media team have recently been posting about this Doctor Who props warehouse, So maybe the Emperor's just sat on a shelf somewhere in there. But the fact that Mike Tucker's name was on a lot of this private collection stuff that was in those exhibitions, I was like, I wonder if Mike Tucker or someone from that team just has the Emperor miniature sat in their house somewhere. And could I get in touch with these people? And A, just ask about the miniature and the process of building it. But B, also maybe see it. It would be cool. I don't even know if it's possible, but if it's something you'd be interested in seeing, let me know in the comments, because it's something I've been really interested in doing for a good while. I think it'd be quite good fun. Anyway, Jesus Christ, stop rambling, man. Oh God, look at this f***er. There he is, the man himself. In fact, yeah, why not? Let's look at the Dalek Emperor, shall we? So this is my Dalek Emperor. So this is the Eagle Moss Dalek Emperor. I got this secondhand on eBay. It's a little bit battered. The eye stock is like just hanging on. Obviously, these pipe things are supposed to go into these sockets here, but because I take it up and put it down for filming these videos, I can't really be arsed putting the pipes in. But I really love it. It's a really heavy duty model. It looks great from a distance. The eye, one of the light bulbs is pretty squint, but it's pretty cool. There's the mutant in there, hanging out. It's pretty cool in this lighting, to be honest. In fact, speaking of the Dalek Emperor, and speaking of, you know, what you might do with Doctor Who if you took over as showrunner, a big reveal in my era is that the Dalek Emperor survived parting of the ways. How, I hear you ask? Well, you'll have to wait and find out. But I've thought about it in such great detail as to how the Dalek Emperor survived, and I think I've actually come up with a really good escape plan that he would have had, that he initiated just as Rose / the Bad Wolf was destroying his ship. So, you know, keep an eye out for that. But it's just so exciting to write, even as like a little fan project. Like I also know we're in an era of Doctor Who that's leaning a little too far towards nostalgia, in my opinion. But I've written like a full draft script of a pilot episode of Doctor Who for a new era that I would be showrunning. But it's very exciting as a fan to write lines of dialogue where the characters are talking about the events of parting the ways and being like, oh, so you must be old enough to remember it. The game station and the Daleks. You're like, woohoo, the Daleks. I'm talking about the Daleks. I was fortunate enough to write for Big Finish a couple years ago, and that was another one of those pinch me moments where I suddenly found myself writing lines for the 9th Doctor. It was the most bizarre thing. I mean, so cool that even happened. I have to sometimes pinch myself to like realize that I actually wrote a Doctor Who story, like a BBC canon Doctor Who story. It's on the TARDIS wiki. I've got a TARDIS wiki page, for the love of God. It's also a thing of how attentive and like aware Doctor Who fans are. So in the story that I wrote, it's just Chris Eccleston. Hi there, just interrupting for a small editorial note. Where I'm saying here that I was writing for Chris Eccleston, I'm using that interchangeably with the 9th Doctor. I'm aware it wasn't Chris Eccleston. It was in fact a very talented actor and impressionist called Jacob Dudman. I just want to make that clear to both not undermine Jacob's work and also not convince people I'm a total moron. I'm aware it wasn't Chris Eccleston. Anyway, carry on. And I had to try to think of a way that would get Chris Eccleston by himself, so I just put one line in the story that was the reason why he was in the town the story says, because he was getting chips to cheer Rose up. And in my head, the story that I wrote is set directly after Father's Day. So Rose is like, you know, going through a lot of stuff. So the Doctor's like, I'm gonna get some chips to cheer her up. And immediately, fans on the TARDIS wiki were like, oh, the Licorice Abomination, which is the story I wrote, is set just after Father's Day. I was like, how do you know that? How did you get that? Bizarre, mental. Anyway, the Dalek Emperor, what are we talking about here? Oh, just beautiful, such a great design. So cool. Oh, and here we are, onto the building stage. Let's get building mid-section. Welcome to the Dalek Mutant Control Center. We have an asset out of containment. Okay, let's do this. This looks like it's gonna be a bit of a fidgety one. Show me what you got. Ah, oh, hello. Jesus, that popped out. What's this? What is this? Support for backrest, could it be? We got, ooh, is this the video screen? Oh, look at that, that's so cool. Can you see that? I think it's the corridor from the episode Dalek. It's a bit of a random screenshot to use, to be honest. I feel like they could have had more iconography that the Dalek would be looking at. That's such a cool idea. I didn't even think about there being a little screen inside, but of course there is. Of course there is! Various little bits and bobs here. Connecting rings for video stand and video support columns. Here we have, I think this will be maybe part D? Yes, part D. The central support for video. And some screws. And finally, what feels like a cassette tape. This is part B. And I think part E. I think they've come together. Okay, take the backrest assembly from the previous issue, fit the two small raised screw sockets in part that one. Oh, is that the Dalek's gonna sit on this little chair, I think? We've got him a little commode. Look at that. I think the mutant's gonna sit there. I don't don't know why that's so funny to me. Okay, this might be a bit of a tricky screwing job, but we'll give it a shot. In fact, I need my little screwdriver from the Hachette Partworks DALEK Collection toolkit. Okay, so what I'm doing just now, I'll explain, is eventually this is going to get screwed into that, but I'm just doing a trial run where I put the screws into the screw holes now so that it's easier in the end. God, that's going to be a tricky screw job. Sorry, I know this is such an awkward position to film in. I'm trying to use the light. Okay, one in. Good start. I think we've made touchdown. It's not perfectly flush, the plastic, but I don't know if I'm going to get it any better. I mean, it'll do. It does the job, doesn't it? Little Dalek chair. Right. Part number 3, identify the fixing point for the backrest assembly in the center of the base plate. So if that's the little columns, the seat will be, oh, here. Yeah, that's right, isn't it? Yeah, okay. And then that'll get fixed in with our old trusty pal, the AP screws. It'd be good if I did that in front of the camera so you can see what I'm doing. Tighten up this last one and we should be all good and sturdy and secure. How's that feeling? There we go. Little Dalek living room. This is madness. Fit the back of the video panel onto the video card frame. It's a simple push fit connection, I believe. Is that something I peel off? That looks like a sort of peely plastic. Ooh, satisfying. Let's nail this because this ain't going anywhere. Beautiful. Look at that. That's cool. Oh, this is gonna be satisfying. Listen. Listen and watch. Oh, baby. There we go. There's our little video screen. Look at that. Take the 2 connecting rings and the video support. So these are just going to push fit into here, I believe. And it says the smaller peg should be near the edge. So I think that's the right orientation. Again, on this side, fitting that in. Looks like a little duck. Am I right or am I right? Okay, so this one will go into here. Now we have Mecha Duck. Fit the video stand assembly from step 9 onto the base. Okay. So that's all screwed in. And then take the video card assembly from step 7 and check that it's the right way up. God, I hope it is. So there's just a push fit connection. This is so exciting. We're about to fit our screen in for our little Dalek friend. So that will just go. Can you see what I'm doing? Okay, well I think that's in. It didn't feel very like firm, but it's not really gonna go anywhere, is it? But there we go. We've got a little setup. Our little gaming PC for our Dalek. I can't wait for him to move in. Rate my setup. Look at this. The Dalek mutant will go here. He's got his little video screen to send his emails. But yeah, here, like, it doesn't look like that's fully in, but I can't seem to get it any further in by getting past these, because these have got little built-in, can't really see it, but little rivets there to hold the screen. So I think it's in as far as it's gonna go. Well, there we have it. That was issue 19. We've got our little setup for our Dalek to move into at some point. And let's have a quick nab at what we can expect next issue. Oh, the next issue brings your alien to sit inside your Dalek. A fantastic piece to add to the build. That is going to be so exciting. That said, it doesn't look like there's gonna be a lot to build next week, so it's gonna be, you know, possibly a quite short episode, so I'll have to think of other things to do. A quick banishment of issue 18 to the ancient tomb of Skaro. But there we go. Thank you for joining me again for another episode of the Hachette Partworks DALEK Collection build. Join me next week for what's going to be a very special episode as we get the pilot, the driver, the little inhabitant of our little Dalek friend. We officially meet Simon, the Dalek, tentacle to tentacle, as God intended. So join me for that. Hope to see you there. Thank you for watching. Have a good week and stay. Well, the main camera died, so see you next week. Well, hello. Welcome back to another end screen. Thanks for watching the video. How's the weather where you guys are? It is absolutely boiling, or it has been boiling over the past couple days up here in Scotland. Anyway, enough of this weather small talk. Let's read some of your comments, shall we? Passive Dehydration says, out of all season finales, what would be your top 3? Ooh! I mean, as I said in this video, Parting of the Ways is my all-time favourite episode of Doctor Who, so I guess that would be number 1, but for the sake of interest, let's keep that aside. I'm going to say, number 3, The Big Bang. Number 2, The Doctor Falls from Series 10. And number 1, I'm going to say, the last of the Time Lords. And again, speaking about Russell T Davies' sort of hand-wavy solutions to things, yes, the Doctor does float into a ball of psychic energy like Space Jesus. I don't think it's quite as much of a rug pull as some people say it is online. It's set up before that the Master is using a series of satellites positioned around the world to create a psychic field to control the human race. And from what we've seen of the Doctor so far, he is psychic himself. He's able to read people's minds and project himself psychically. I'm not saying it's grounded in any real science, it's Doctor Who, but you know, the path was there. The Dragon Skull 1065 says whenever you finally complete this Dalek build, you will be sad when it's all over. I think I will. But at the same time, I can't wait to see the whole thing finished. I'm really enjoying this series a lot. Thanks very much. And yeah, I think I will miss the process of building it. I mean, I'm saying this now on issue, 19? 18. It is really fun to put together, but yeah, I think it's always the same when you complete a project. You're like, oh, I'm glad it's done, but I miss it. James Boxy says, Lego! I love going to brick shows, haven't been to one in a while. How much of an AFOL are you? And what's your favourite Lego set? What's an AFOL? Oh, adult fan of Lego. I thought you were tricking me into revealing something darker there. No, I'm a huge fan of Lego. I currently have a cupboard full of old Lego sets that I really want to build, but I just need more space. But in terms of what my favourite Lego set is, ooh, the Jaws Lego set is so sick. You build it as a sort of display piece on this little podium, but you can have the boat separate, and my favourite part is that you can take the half shark coming out of the water and attach it to the tail and have the shark separately on a little display thing. It's such a cool idea! WizCod says, awesome video as always. It's bad that I only recall I Can See You from your Not My Daleks video.
Alert! Observe! It is the Doctor! She's literally landing right in front of us! We can see you, Doctor!
One question, what do you think about the rumour of BBC ditching Disney for another distribution partner? I don't really have any strong feelings one way or the other.
All I know is my gut says maybe.
I think if the Disney distribution deal has made Doctor Who more accessible and available to people worldwide, I think that can only be a good thing. I assume they contributed to a higher budget for the show, and I think that had a great impact. I think the show, in general, for the past 2 seasons has looked incredible, probably the best it's ever looked. I'll be really interested to see how the show is done with a different distribution partner, but even if it meant they had to go back to some smaller budget episodes, some more constrained writing, I would love that a lot more than the short series we've had. If you could name what that's from, I don't know what I'll do, but if you can name what that quote is from, hands up anyone who thinks they got it right. Yep, there's always one. I can see you. What's that from? Dr. Bag PhD says, Second Coming! Eccleston was amazing in that. Yes! Someone got it. As did Ed Effects. A Second Coming quote in this economy. Genuinely such a good show. I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube somewhere. I think it's only a couple episodes, I can't really remember, but honestly, the writing, insane. Chris Eccleston, oh, mamma mia. It's so good, so good.
Do you think you're ready for that much power? You lot? You lot? You cheeky bastards.
Anyway, on that note, we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching another video. Thanks for your comments again. Please keep them coming. Have a good week. Try and stay cool in this perishing summer weather. Or alternatively, try and avoid lightning. Anyway, bye!